Here's a sample module from my Christian Comeback Framework. This is completely free for you. This is taken directly from my course. So if you wanted to check out the framework, that'll be in the link below. But if not, this video is completely free for you to check out. Simple eating without meal prep. Zero meal prep is required for the way I teach things. All of you guys are busy. You don't need Sunday meal prep, stacks of Tupperware, chicken and rice monotony. That sucks. Nobody likes doing that. So don't. This lesson shows how a busy man can eat for fat loss with basically no cooking. Let someone else do the cooking. That's the number one thing you can do. Zero prep is possible through pre-made meals and intelligently selected takeout. Pre-made meals and customizable meals are useful because they are easy to quantify and you already know the numbers. Meal prep delivery services. That's a really big deal. And this one is obviously time-saving maximalism. So ideally, if you have a wife at home who cooks meals, you want to get her on board, have her help cook better meals. But if you have the financial means to do so, which many of you do, I would recommend a meal delivery service. So meal delivery services are great, especially when they're, if they can tell you the nutrition information, you can weigh out all the frozen ingredients yourself or whatever. That's always great. Some of them require you to cook. That's less ideal. But if you can get made meals, that's fantastic. Customizable food, Chipotle style is preferred. And what I mean by that is the type where you can choose your meals. You can customize the ingredients that are going on, something like kava. Let me see what else there is. Sometimes some local places have stuff like that. There's not so many like this, but it is becoming more and more common. So customizable bowls, you can choose exactly what's going in. You can look on the website and see exactly how many calories are in everything. So do that. And then frozen meals, that makes sense macro-wise. So you're going to want to look for things that have the right amount of macros. And we'll get into this just now. You want to hunt the calorie to protein ratio. You want to choose foods that are high in protein per calorie. You want to choose more protein and fewer calories, which makes you fuller and leaner. And this single filter will simplify every single choice. So whenever you're going for your groceries and you're making menu decisions, you're simply looking for the most protein for the fewest calories overall. Maybe you want to enjoy something and that's a little bit different. But when we're just trying to say, okay, here's how we're going to follow the plan, most of the time, that's what we're trying to optimize for. For example, the best protein ratio is whey protein isolate powder. Not the best tasting, but it shows that the best possible ratio you can get is 1 gram of protein per 4 calories. Doesn't get better than that. And so write this down for you to know. 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 is exceptional and nearly pure protein. 1 to 5 to 1 to 7 is excellent. 1 to 7 to 1 to 10 is good. 1 to 10 to 1 to 15 is moderate. And 1 to 15 is over that is poor as a dedicated protein source. Something I'll also mention that I noticed that I don't have in my notes is protein quality. And I don't mean organic or anything like that. What I mean by protein quality is that a lot of protein sources are either better or worse. And let me put it to you this way. Something like milk and eggs would beat a protein source like peanuts or peanut butter. Not just because peanut butter is high in calories, but because the amino acid profile of protein, very complex terms, but just listen to what I'm saying. The amino acid profile of beef, eggs, cheese, milk, chicken is better than peanuts. And the reason why is because it has more amino acids. It has more of the 9 essential amino acids. Peanut protein is going to have less. So you want to choose foods that are higher quality protein sources. This means avoiding things like plant proteins. It means avoiding quote unquote good protein sources like tofu, because they're not great sources of protein. The best things are going to be meat, animal products, and that's pretty much it. That's why whey protein is perfect, because it has all the amino acids. It's a perfect score, has everything you need, and nothing gets better than milk protein in terms of the composition. Milk and eggs, actually. So grab and go staples. This is also super important when you are a busy man, you have a lot of things going on. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have foods that are quick and ready to go. And we want to view food as fuel. We don't want to think, oh, yummy, tasty treats. That's the mindset of a lot of guys. Oh man, this would be really good for breakfast. Ooh, can't wait for my lunch today. Can't wait for my lunch. We want to move away from that mindset because that mindset is what got us where we are. We want to view food as a fuel source, not something to be worshipped, not an idol. And that's why we want to have quick, high protein breakfast. So protein shake, banana, done. A couple cheese sticks, and then let's see, what else is something quick for breakfast? Maybe a bowl of Greek yogurt with some berries, maybe low fat even. Cottage cheese, and whether you like it salty or sweet is up to you, but that with something else, or maybe just some eggs and some fruit in the morning. Super easy, quick things to go and grab. Protein shakes are also super easy to grab. Have one ready for you in the morning, grab it and go. If you typically don't eat much for the morning, just have your protein shake in the morning, and then bam, you have extra calories that are ready to go for the day. And the best foods to choose are fruit and other simple whole foods, like the ones I mentioned. You can also have things like maybe you want to have some sourdough bread. Maybe you want to have, a lot of people eat rice cakes. They're not my favorite. Maybe you don't want to do something like that, but that's possible. But yeah, something like bananas, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, any type of cheese really that's lean is good to grab and go. If you like boiled eggs, you can do that. I don't mind them, but some people don't. Some people hate them, so don't do that. But whatever's easy for you and just something that you enjoy, and keep them stocked. Keep them easy to grab so that there's no worry about whether you can grab the right thing. You want to make sure you're grabbing the right things, not just anything. Eat out without guessing. So you're going to want to pick customizable restaurant meals and publish chain nutrition information that let you eat out and still know your numbers. So you're going to choose basically, the Chipotle style meals. Again, going back to that, things where you can choose exactly what you want. You can just look on the website and it's there. Most chain restaurants will be better for this. You also want to build the meal around protein when you're eating out. And the reason why you want to do that is because of the earlier reasons I stated. It's important to make sure you're getting enough protein and make sure that you're feeling more full. That doesn't mean you don't eat the things that you enjoy, but you should probably be in the mindset of what's going to be the highest protein option here, what's going to be best for my goals overall. That's going to be your thought 80% of the time. If you eat out every once in a while, this isn't a big deal. But for a lot of you guys, you're eating out all the time. You have client dinners, you have work events, you have all-inclusives. Most of the time, it's okay to miss out on something when you're doing it all the time. And then, so after everything, after you have, tried to do the customizable meal, after you've looked at the website, the last resort is to use an AI software to track. But there's going to be more on that in video 15. So that's why it's important to try to choose the things where you can do the customizable meal or you can find the websites online. But there's other options too in case that isn't possible. And a lot of times it's just not. Weigh what you can. This is the best way to track overall. So when you're at home, when you aren't eating a quick grab and go option, you're going to weigh your food raw when possible. And you also have to measure your sauces. These things are very easy to miss. For example, something like if you were to go to, let's say, Chipotle and you were to get the guac, that will rack up the calories super quick. Now, that's not talking about your food at home, but to just paint that picture. Guac and sour cream, those things will add the calories up super high. So you need to make sure you weigh everything. That's including the oil you use to cook. That's including sauces you add. Those things will rack up the calories super fast. So you need to be careful of that. You also need to track caloric drinks cup by cup. And I mean like a physical measuring cup. So if you're going to have a glass of milk, you need to measure it out. Or you need to know where it is on your glass when you're pouring it. And then favor the 0-calorie drinks and kind of skip the sugary alcoholic mixers. So when you are having a drink and you're out, try not to choose the fruity drinks. Try not to choose the drinks with a bunch of sugars and sweeteners and added things. The best thing to do is to just have like a vodka soda, a gin soda. Some of those things that just aren't so sugary will be better for you overall.